Hey guys, enter the stars. Welcome to the channel. It's 3:22, and I don't know about you guys, but I didn't sleep all that great last night. I was very restless and just bizarre dreams. Not really nightmares, but just an unsettling feeling last night. So I don't know what that means. I know in past shows, way back in 2013, we talked about the date of March 22nd, 322, and we saw this increase in fireball activities that were going on. Like, we're talking tenfold. So there's something about this date today, and in fact, the decode today is going to be about 322. Now, 3 times 22 is 66, and 2 divided by 3 is 0.66666 to infinity. So there's something about this number. Now let's get into the show here because we've got some stuff to cover. And I think we're going to go backwards today. We're going to actually cover the T-Man who has just announced that he is creating his own social media platform. Now, this is interesting because this is something we had suggested even before the election. Remember, we had this discussion and I said to you guys, if he's being censored so much and they're kicking him off these platforms, wouldn't he, as a billionaire, to try to shore up and save the election, wouldn't he have started his own social media platform before the election even took place to help him win? Right? Now, back then, it was a great idea, and I was calling the bluff because I knew he wouldn't do it then, but now he's doing it now. And this could be in anticipation of another election run. But this was a good idea then, but now, since the Crap Hole event, the honey trap, I don't have faith in this new platform. In fact, I think it's going to be more of the same. I believe it's going to be profiling and collecting data on anybody with extreme views. This will be a go-to place, a honeypot that they could just grab people up, find out where you live. And it remains to be seen how all this is going to shake out, but this is going to be very interesting. Now, we hadn't even started this show yet, and we got a banner underneath our video for this live show. This gives you an example of how they are starting to profile and catalog channels. So how much more so are they going to be focused on this new social media platform that the T-Man is coming up with? And let's read about this because I want to make sure that we get the details on this. Former President DT is coming back to social media, but this time with his own network. Trump's spokesman told Fox News on Sunday. Jason Miller, a longtime advisor for the campaign, told Media Buzz that the T-Man will be returning to social media in probably 2 or 3 months. He added, T-Man's return will be his own platform that will attract tens of millions of new users, and I have no doubt that it will. He will completely redefine the game. This is something that I think will be the hottest ticket in social media. Now, it's interesting because the date that they chose to announce this was 74 days after the Crap Hole event. There's the event there. 74 days later, on the eve of 322, he announces this. 74 days, and he is 74 years old. So there's definitely some numbers going on here. Now, let's keep looking at this, and then we'll get into the Condor, today's decode. So, this new platform is going to be big, Miller said. Everyone wants him, and he's going to bring millions and millions, tens of millions to his platform. The announcement comes after the T-Man was permanently suspended from Twitter and other social platforms, such as Facebook, following his incitement of the Crap Hole events on January 6th, where hundreds of T-Man supporters stormed the Crap Hole, leaving 5 people dead. Following Trump T-Man's ban on Twitter, Kushner, the former president's son-in-law, senior advisor, intervened when other aides attempted to get the T-Man on fringe social media platforms such as Parler and Gab. So this is new information. So this is all going to pan out over the next several months. Lots and lots of people will join this, and I just don't have a good feeling about it. Like I said, it was a good idea before the whole crap-it hole thing went down. But now we know what these people are made of. Gather them up and take them down. There are still takedowns happening right now. And the fact that now YouTube has ramped up their labeling of anything that they deem that mentions the T-Man's name too much or whatever, that concerns me. That concerns me. Now, what can you do to help? Well, here on this channel, if you go to the 3 dots next to the banner underneath this channel, you can give your feedback and you can tell them, look, this is not a pro T-Man channel or a pro letter of the alphabet channel. So why would that banner be put under there? But this is what they're doing. So I think your feedback is actually working, because after a while, the banners often get removed. So keep doing that. Keep doing what you guys are doing. And that will help protect this channel. So that's what's going on with the T-Man. I wanted to open with that because this is breaking news. Other channels are probably going to be covering this. Now, let's get into these trailers that I uploaded over the weekend. Now, one of them I just uploaded on a premiere about 45 minutes ago on the other channel. Now, we'll play that again, so those of you that were there will see it again. But you got a snapshot into what was going on with that. And we're going to cover that. But this is crazy, you guys. So, basically what I did in this first trailer that you're going to see is I combined 2 different, I guess you call them. One was a film called The Lodge, and the other is the season 1 of the TV series, The Condor. So that's what's going to be in this first trailer here. We're going to look at. We're going to break this down. And both of them were pre-CV19 that showed clear foreshadowing of what was to come. Now, how could they have known this other than they had planned it? But in what you're going to see here is clear subliminal pre-programming for what they already planned. Now, this first one is called The Lodge. And again, this came out in like 2018, before the first case of CV19 kicked off. And it's about a cult survivor. This is her here. Actually, this isn't her. This is the mother of 2 children who basically took herself out. Anyway, it's about a woman who's a cult survivor. And the 2 children punk her. The dad takes them all on this vacation to try to get them to warm up to their new stepmom. And they end up punking this woman after the dad leaves for a few days. And they hide all of her stuff. And they convince her that she's dead and that she's in purgatory and suffering from all of her crimes. Well, the lady snaps after they tell her that she suffocated in their sleep due to a malfunction malfunction heater. So the lady loses it and she starts taking people out, and the children can't stop it. And the joke ends up ultimately falling on them. Anyway, I thought the theme of suffocation and the date that you're going to see next was significant, because it's the date of January 9th, 19, which is 19. So you have 19 and suffocation. Let's watch this.
Drive over.
Now, of course, the door has 223. Backwards is 322.
I had a weird dream last night.
In the dream, the gas heater started smoking and we couldn't breathe.
He had a weird dream last night, kind of like all of us, right? And he said that the gas heater started smoking and they couldn't breathe.
We couldn't breathe.
We suffocated.
We suffocated.
We suffocated.
What are the symptoms of CV19? Suffocation.
We suffocated.
Look at the clock. January 9th, that's 19. So the woman, that's the woman they punked. She starts going crazy because she's like, she really thinks she's in purgatory. And the clock is incorrect because it was really December 22nd when they went on this vacation, but the clock changed. Well, now the difference in the date between the change of December 22nd and January 9th is 6 plus 6 plus 6 days. Now, in the old writing, the letter A looked like this. It looked like a D with the top chopped off, right? So I just took the letters of Condor, and this is the next decode we're going to get into, and I shuffled them around, and it spells C-O-R-O-N-A. Now, before I show you this, what is Condor all about? Well, it released on 6/6/2018. Remember, 3 times 22 is 66. And it's about we're going to call it a bio weapon that the CIA plans to release as part of a flag that's false to start a conflict with the Muslim's world. And what it is, it's a virus that then the CIA will create a VC for so they can profit off of it. That's the storyline of Condor. So they end up setting up a patsy and they release it into a football game, or they try to. The plan is to basically set up the patsy to never deliver it in the American football game, but then to be basically killed before he ever makes it on purpose. And then they can say it was an attempt, right? So they stop him before it ever happens. But then the second attempt, which they will have go through, is at the Hajj, the cube at Mecca. And then what this will do is this will justify them basically wiping out the entire world of these people who worship at the cube of Mecca. And they'll say that there was an anticipated uprising as a result of the attack at the Hajj. Now, here's the interesting thing. The patsy, as you're going to see, the football game patsy, which I believe represents the Super Bowl, which is when all this kicked off in America. Remember we all got to go to the Super Bowl and there was no problems. And then right after that, everything, all of a sudden we were in a spamdemic. Well, the patsy in the Condor, which predated CV-19, has the same birthday as the T-Man, the Don himself. Now watch. So there's the 6/6/2018 premiere. And of course, we know 2018 is 6 plus 6 plus 6. Now, this is the hideout, the secret CIA location where they have these analysts that are they're creating algorithms to try to preempt any kind of attack, right? And they lead this guy to believe that he has created an algorithm that found the guy that was going to carry out the attack on the football stadium. But look at the street corner here. 33 and 33. That's 66 again. So, I'm not just reading things into things. It's all over this series. Keep watching. Now, this is a shot from the series And here you see an effect that is well known. We had actually covered this about a year ago on this channel. We were talking about this effect created by helicopters, and that we compared the helicopters in this effect to the crowned locusts of Revelation. I said, this is the locust army. And I got laughed at. Oh, that's not the locust army. Well, of course it is. They're crowned. This is called a CORONA. Watch.
This is a capture mission. We need Abu Saeed and we need him alive.
Acknowledged.
So it's called the Kopp-Etchells effect, and they call it right here in their own words a CORONA, which is a crown. Now, everything else you're going to see in this decode is the exact same verbiage, language, programming that we're all experiencing right now with CV19. The problem is that this released an entire year before the first case. Hindsight is 2020, you guys. So here's the Don himself, and there's his birthday. And there you see the named teeterist in the show. He has the same birthday. And look at the year, 88. That's Biff. That's time travel. That's 88 miles an hour. That's Back to the Future, because all this stuff goes back to the future. It's all connected. And they know this. This is why they keep playing this game with us.
Amar Nazari got a job at Conquest Field with a plan to infect Americans with the plague during a football game.
So here's the guy, and he's basically a metaphor for the T-Man. Look at the degree where he was actually photographed at. There's the 77. And we also know that there's a lot of sevens surrounding the T-Man. Now, he has what are called double digits. So we've got double sixes, say 6th floor penthouse. We got double sevens surrounding him. We have the double eights.
And we have to assume they're going to use it. Nazari was most likely not working alone. Someone out there could still have weaponized plague.
What kind of plans does the CDC have in place?
Well, the plan is mass prophylaxis. So the U.S. has been stockpiling ciprofloxacin for decades.
Walk us through a scenario where a weaponized pneumonic plague gets that kind of traction in a major American city.
So in the event of a health emergency, PODs, or points of dispensing sites, would be set up in every major U.S. city.
Using a fine particulate aerosol spray, V1RUS can vaccinate 1 square mile of inhabitants in only 20 minutes.
So it's interesting because the very VC becomes the plague. The same device that they use to distribute the VC out of these drones is the same device used to distribute the plague.
Mile of inhabitants in only 20 minutes.
Well, I was thinking about the country's vaccine stockpiles.
Oh.
Ciprofloxacin.
Bingo.
Protecting healthy populations against the spread of an epidemic with unparalleled speed and efficiency.
We're wondering if someone made a move into big pharma knowing vaccine stockpiles.
So basically, this is the team that developed the algorithm. They caught the guy at the football game, which again, I believe the football aspect to this was Super Bowl 20. I guess it was February like 2020. when the Super Bowl kicked off. And that was the ritual that kicked off CV-19.
Be depleted.
Valaris will allow us to provide effective protection as much or as little of the world as we choose.
Like the terrorists shorting airline stocks before 9/11.
Yeah, you see, that's a fiction. Yeah, well, Dick Tracy wore a two-way wrist radio in the 40s, and now people wear Apple Watches.
So this is the device, and this looks exactly like the same device that they used to infect with the flag that's false. We got to be careful how we talk about this stuff, you guys. If you have any questions about what I'm saying, just simply ask in the chat. There are a lot of people that are already up to speed. Just don't run away because you're confused. Understand that this information is so delicate that we have to get the information out. We have to change the way we talk. Otherwise, no one will be awake to this. We can't simply just stop talking about it. So this was all pre-CV-19, yet you'll understand that they're talking about all the exact same subject matter. It's too specific. It would be different if it was generalized, but this was 2 entire seasons. Well, the first season was all about this. Second season, we're going to get into in a minute in the second montage. But look, notice the device here. It's the same. It's got like it's like an on button, basically, is what it looks like. The center here, with those little side jets coming out. Now, see, same. This is the device that distributes it and the device that cures it. They come up with the cause and the effect, or the cure.
So which transactions stand out?
Well, I found...
So that guy that you saw, this one back here, that created the drone that would distribute these, the VC, he was working with the CIA, and he already knew that they were going to basically sicken the entire world with this. And so what he did is he wanted to profit off of it. So he started stockpiling Cipro, which is an antibiotic. Or in this series, it's more like the CV, or the VC, I'm sorry, the VC. The VCine, we can call it. That might be easier for some of you to understand what I'm saying. But anyway, long story short, they look at the companies that were already stockpiling the cure. And look at this. Jana Research. Now, we talked all about Janus, the two-face, the twinning. Now, you're going to see in a minute, this isn't an accident. Like, I'm not just stretching here. You're going to see in a second here, because they're going to mention the twinning in the second season as well. Watch this. Now, we've had this surge of twin births coming out of the lockdowns, and no one can explain why. But yet, we talked about this before it happened. They just announced this about a week ago, but we were already talking about this all of 2020, that there's going to be a surge of twin births. And yet, and here we are.
Found these 12 companies, and collectively, they bought over $1 billion worth of big pharma.
What?
And collectively, they bought over $1 billion worth of big pharma.
Janice Heron.
Now, there's a woman named Janice as well. That confirms it in the first season. Then they mention twins again in the second season.
Now, she hasn't had any known contact with Wilford Turner since they left MIT, but...
What connects them?
I see, that's just it. They're all different sizes. They're headquartered in different countries. It all looks completely random.
Now, here's a scene. They actually go through some of these CIA documents. They mention this word. So, I'm not making all this up. They talk about exactly how it would go down in an American football game, American soil at a heavily populated football game that would establish the plague at the hands of a known cell. When the plague virus appears among populations in the Middle East, it would create the appearance of a boomerang effect.
The delivery man can't release the virus until the last day. Otherwise, people will be symptomatic and they'll just quarantine the place.
So basically, that probably is what happened. It was probably they released it at a strategic time so that they couldn't just simply quarantine. Now, a lot of people were resistant to quarantine.
One day I woke up and some terrorists went and flew an airplane into the towers of New York. 9/11. I knew a few people who died that day.
You're not making me feel any better, Daddy.
Now, he makes her these train pancakes. It looks like a train engine, and he gives her 2 of them. So that's TT, okay, as they're talking about the TTs, the 2 towers.
It's just time that you know that there are bad people in the world. It's invisible, odorless, silent.
Invisible, odorless, silent.
Victims breathe it in, a liquid slurry of the plague virus.
Liquid slurry, victims breathe it in. Now, I think all this part is fear pre-programming, okay? So anyone that watched this, they're probably standing in line to get a VC right now because the fear has already been put inside of them that it's odorless, you can't see it, you know, it's this big mystery, and you better just go get VC'd because otherwise it could be on any surface. So this is what this part of the series is about.
Into a fine particulate spray.
Now, this is the guy that develops the algorithm that catches. He basically did it by accident. He was so good that he caught the guy that was part of their operation in his own CIA, right? And so now they had to like control this. They couldn't let this get out because they wanted to carry this out. And he ends up stopping the whole thing from happening by the end of season 1. But look at the door here. I mean, they're so obvious. Okay, they put it right on the address of the door. This is why I always look at license plates and addresses, because these people think they're funny. So they inject that guy with the plague, and he's on his way to the Hajj, and he's going to infect millions and millions of people at the Cube at Mecca. Now, how do they infect him? Well, they put this guy comes into his room when he's not there yet. He puts this smoke in there, an event that makes him fall into a deep sleep. And while he's asleep, he infects him.
The preliminary stages are complete. Abu Saeed has been infected. The delivery man is en route to meet with his friends from the mosque for their trip.
All those people at the football game at Conquest Field got infected with the plague, and their neighbors, until everyone in the whole world was both murderer and victim.
Now, the first plague released at Conquest Field. Now, what's up with Conquest Field? Let's look that up. So I didn't think about this. Whoops. Can't type today. Conquest Field. Where is that even? Is that real? Maybe it's fictional. Yeah, that must... Oh. Battlefield, Wiki, Conquest. No, that's, I guess, a fictional field. Can you guys think of a field that is probably what they're really talking about? I don't know. But we'll continue on with this in a second here. Let's make sure we're connected. Thanks, everybody, for showing up. It's Monday. And let's keep going with this.
And what I discovered was an enemy who could change the fate of the world in only 24 hours. And I learned everything I possibly could about the plague.
Yeah, he taught psyops at the farm.
So obviously this was a psyop.
No.
And the party that they're attending right here is basically a party of all CIA and undercover people who, many of which were in the know about this secret operation that they were going to employ to sicken the world, profit off of the cure, and start a conflict with the people in the Mideast.
Aren't you even going to say
Whoa, we will.
Sam?
Now, this is the license plate of the Patsy that they used to enter the football field. Okay. And of course they shot him before he even got in there with the thing. But look at this. Look at the license plate here. It says C4 on both sides of the license plate, right? So obviously C4 is something that explodes. So what does that leave in the middle? 9/13. Is that September 13th? Is that March 19th? What is this? Well, March 19th already passed, obviously. What if this is September 13th? Now, I don't date set on this channel, but we do watch what they're telling us, because just as this license plate goes across the screen, you're going to hear him say something.
By whose will the event seems to have taken place. Napoleon issues will the event seems to have taken place, or men appear, by whose will the event seems to have taken place.
The event seems to have taken place. So the guy comes, the teeterist pulls up into the football stadium. I didn't really see anything else other than this. I mean, was this the football stadium where Beyonce performed? Remember all the smiley faces at that Super Bowl halftime performance? I think Shakira performed as well. But here we have some banners here, and you have the side of the football stadium. They show a big flag being undraped during the halftime show. Did that happen when Beyonce performed? I don't remember. But anyway, he pulls up, and let's keep watching.
Napoleon issues a decree and the army enters Russia.
Got a job at Conquest Field with a plan to infect Americans with the plague during a football game.
So they, of course, take him out. He doesn't even realize it, that he's been busted already. But yeah, there's something weird going on here, right? I mean, maybe he said Conquest Field instead of Conquest. Maybe I wrote that down wrong. Maybe I should look in the chat here, and you guys might know what's going on. So what's up with Conquest Field? Do you guys see any connection there to the Super Bowl or whatever? So let this catch up, and we'll continue on with this. Now, stay on board with me, because we have the second montage. Many of you have not seen that yet, for season 2 of this. And it has smiley faces all throughout the entire season. So now the theme of the second season shifts to something other than a worldwide spamdemic, but the smiley faces are there, and we'll talk about the backdrop of that season as well. Conquest. Okay, someone says Conquest. Okay, so what else? Is there actually a Conquest Field? Anybody? Anyone? Bueller? J-Lo performer Shakira. Yes, remember that. But what was that, Conquest Field? Or what does that mean? Because, okay. Comcast? Maybe it does mean Comcast. Good morning, Ashley. Yeah, I need a little help on this one, you guys, because I was like, what does this field mean? Do not ruin the smiley face emoji for me, says Jade. Well, you don't have to worry about it. It's all how you use it. Obviously, they're using it for evil. It's like owls. Owls are not bad. Sounds like Comcast, says Rick. Comcast Field. Okay, that's probably it. Now, did we have a Super Bowl? Let's take a look. Comcast Field. We'll dig into that later, you guys. I don't want to get hung up on that. All right, let's keep going with this. So they kill the guy, but that's part of the plan. He's a patsy.
Nathan and I have been helping the CIA to release a plague virus on the Muslim world and try to make it look like the terrorists accidentally did it to themselves.
To the world, it looks like a terrorist attack that's backfired. The Muslims accuse each other of unleashing hell on them.
Millions of people will die. More.
What if they're only able to believe what they already believe? What if the truth no longer matters, Joe? What if everybody knows and they go through with it anyways? What if nobody cares?
And this is the problem we're having right now, is that not enough people care. Because if they did, decodes like this would hit millions of people. So whatever someone says Comcast Stadium in El Paso, whatever it is that they're doing, whether it's the algorithms or hiding the truth or what, has done something to people to where they don't care. Maybe there's too many disinformation channels out there that are simply, people are worn out from the truth. Why is it that there's already been almost 40 million people that have gone to get the VC? If you saw something like this, wouldn't you understand that it's all been planned? So let's keep going with this, because let's get into season 2. Now, like I said, season 2, they shift the theme. It's no longer a spamdemic, it's something else. Smiley faces. Now, we had already discovered these smiley faces in many of our decodes. Okay? And we had done this all the way back in March. Smiley faces, we found out, represent plague and death. And look at the light post here from the series. Remember, this finished filming in August of 2019 before the very first CV-19 case. But yet, you see what appears to be the foreshadowing of the 2 shots that would be needed for the VC administered by the clown, which is, there's a clown sticker right here. Clown sticker, first shot, second shot, and lots of smiley faces. Now, what are the smiley faces other than representing plague and death? Well, as far as I can tell, they represent these solar eclipse paths. So let's get into this second one here. Now, the backdrop of this second season is a man named Gordon, and Gordon is falsely accused of colluding with the Russians, who have basically figured out a way to plant a mole inside the CIA and are taking out the most effective people in the CIA, and they can't figure out who the mole is. So Gordon is set up. He's actually set up by the mole himself, as you're going to see in this montage. And he's in prison, and he knows there's no way out. So he ends up choosing death by autoimmune reaction, a peanut allergy. Again, this season aired before the very first case of CV-19 in China. And of course, now all that everyone's talking about is immunity, immunization. But really, this is about autoimmunity, which is what I told you guys was going to happen. I've been telling you since the beginning. You don't mess with your immune system. You let it do things naturally. And I told you that VCs could possibly kick off some kind of reaction in people, that not all immune systems are created equal. And some people may be super sensitive. Someone mentioned to me that even with pets, they change the dose based on the size of the animal. Why aren't they doing that for us? Why does everyone get the same dose? And we talked about these VCs kicking off some people's immune system into overdrive and causing really bad things to happen in the body. Lifelong conditions. And we also talked about how some of these otherwise unexplained worldwide autoimmune conditions may have been caused by something. Notice how all of the things that plague us, that they have no explanation for, start with an A. Autism, acne, asthma. What's the other one? Alzheimer's. And of course, peanut allergies. Let's get into this.
I'll be at Kalmani Marutsa 19 for the next 24 hours. Kalmani Marutsa 19.
I had a twin brother that died at birth. Lie.
I slept with twins.
So there's the Janice, the twinning. You heard him say 19 twice. There's a reason for that. It's the doubling effect. 2 shots, twin birth explosion, the 2 faces of the T-Man, a Biden, a bad Dawn.
Oh, wow. Much better.
Notice they're talking about twins, and they got these twin lamps here in the background that almost look like DNA strands. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, you guys.
The reason rumors have persisted about the near-plague epidemic of 2018 is the Special Commission's report exonerating the CIA was, well, unconvincing.
So the entire season 2 basically surrounds this light post, and the agents keep putting stickers on the light post. The stickers send a message. So what are we going to do? We're going to decode the message. The message is you get 2 shots, and the clown is the one that gives it to you. There's one creepy clown up here, and there's another creepy clown down here. And of course, there's smiley faces.
We are expected to believe that nobody above middle management was involved in this thing, not to mention anyone lucky enough to still be alive. Shall we examine the body count? Elgin Lore.
Now that was a joystick, and I don't really know what that means, other than like joy. But the guy you're hearing in the background here is a conspiracy theorist, and he's talking about the body count surrounding this event and how it was whitewashed in the media. That's all of us connecting the dots, but being discredited by mainstream media.
Former CIA, dead. His wife Iris, dead. Sam Barber, CIA, dead.
So we see the body count, but no one can connect the dots because everyone's too dumbed down. Now, I believe this was a foreshadowing of the Capitol event. Seeing the Capitol for the first time. Okay, and it's right behind the light post that has the 2 shots and the creepy clown. That says 20 there, I think. Resolution's not that great, but there you see DC, there you see the Washington Monument, and it's seeing the Capitol for the first time. And this is the first time that this happened, this January 6th event. There's the pin in the arm even. Whoa. So, first shot, second shot. Let's keep watching.
Marty Frost, retired CIA, dead. Gareth Miner, White Sands CEO, dead. Caleb Wolf, information activist, dead.
Now that's Gordon, and he's the guy that was falsely accused. And Gordon has a peanut allergy. So to screw with him, they give him a smiley face with the bag of peanuts at every meal. You guys, anaphylactic shock is an autoimmune reaction. Now earlier in the series, and I didn't include a clip of this, but basically He accidentally eats these peanuts at a picnic, and somebody injects him with an EpiPen. We already know that EpiPens degrade into a pink substance called chrome of adreno. Uh-oh. Did they throw us off? We're buffering. Now, here is the first eclipse, the day that they established Patient Zero in China. Was December 26, 2019. This was the eclipse, and as you can see, it looks like a smiley face. These are two river systems. Those might be borders of countries, but there's the smiley face, and there are the eyes of the smiley face. Another smiley face, in case you think all of this is just randomness, and it's not, because the smiley faces are all throughout. Smiley face means plague and death, and it's based off of sun worship, which is eclipse events, and this is how they carry out their plans based on these eclipse events.
You can bring it to him now.
You're the boss, but do you think it's a good idea to torment him like this?
And there's the creepy clown. That would be your T-Man. It is the VC. That's what it is. And you can't be any more clear than this. Now, the eclipses form different paths. Some of the eclipses smile, some cry, they have downturned mouths, and some are indifferent. And I believe the indifferent eclipse that you're going to see next was the masks being put over all of our faces and not being able to show expression. It's the expressionless face. There it is right there. That's the last face that Gordon gets before Gordon takes his own life by eating the bag of peanuts, knowing that it will kill him. But yet he does it because he knows that he was a patsy and he was being used, and he didn't think there was a way out. And that was December 14th, 2020, when we were all firmly beaten, masked, expressionless faces. This was the eclipse of December 14th, 2020. We were right in the thick of it. This was also the launch date of the VC, warp speed. And think about what autism is. It's expressionlessness. I believe that is an autoimmune reaction to something put in a child's body that's not supposed to be there. Now we are living in a world of indifference. Indifference invites demon possession. Welcome to the zombie apocalypse. That's Gordon's wife. She cries. She understands that he took his life. He eats the peanuts. He has the autoimmune reaction. No EpiPen for him. And this was all foreshadowing and pre-programming of what we are going through right now. And if you can't see that, if you don't understand that, and that doesn't make any sense to you, this might not be the channel for you, because I think all of us are well past the point. If this only happened in 1 or 2 series, or let's just say 1 series, then people would understand that, or they, they would question what the decodes that we do here. But the themes keep repeating over and over and over again in literally everything we decode every single day of the week. How much more do people need to see before they stop running in and standing in line to get jabbed? I don't understand. So let's let this catch up. We'll do a quick Q&A. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about how they continue to drive the right-left paradigm and how they're handling the border situation and how they have now changed the name of what it means to send somebody back across the border. They used to call it deportation because that sounded really cruel and mean. Now they're calling it, what are they calling it? Can't even remember what they're calling it. They're calling it something different. That doesn't sound nearly as mean, but yet Biden's doing the same, if not more, than the T-Man was doing. So what is this supposed to do? It's supposed to enrage the people on the right. They're going to say, look, Biden's doing the exact same thing. Don't give in to that. That's what they want you to do. That's what they want you to do. That's how they keep the division going. When are we going to understand that both sides are working together at the top? So let's get into this down here in the chat here. Appreciate everybody coming out. Thanks, Jason. It's a big job at all of you are the ones that helped do this. Somebody actually asked me to look at Condor. I would have never thought to look at that series, but yet there it was. So thank you. You guys make this channel. You guys are the channel. And we're all guided by the Holy Spirit. So we'll do Q&A for a couple minutes. You guys have any questions? Someone said the VC people are moving super slow. That's possible. 7 times, it's legit. Yes, the 7 times. Eat your fruits and vegetables. Yes. Where is that message from the C to the D to the C? Nobody wants to talk about that, about strengthening your own immune system, because then you wouldn't need a VC, right? And that's money out of their pockets. How can people not see this? Conquest equals triumph. Now, thank you for that, because we're trying to decode what conquest or comquest field was all about. But understand, too, that the T-Man was already president when that series was going, all right? But the symbolism is there, absolutely. Yeah, Sheldon has a good point. Nobody cares about the unborn. But yet we're magically supposed to believe that they really care about the 2 million that have died from CV-19, which is about the same number of people that die every year from the flu. So, which magically doesn't exist anymore. So we traded one for the other. The problem is that why are we doing all this when the numbers are about the same? Let's look that up real quick. I don't want to give any disinformation out here. Hold on. How many people in the world die from the flu? Okay. Annual influenza, about 500,000 is what they're saying. Now we know that a lot of people have been added to the death tolls. They've inflated the death tolls. In other words, they've grouped up a lot of people that really didn't die from CV-19. They're grouping that all in with the people that died. So so this number isn't that far off from the amount of people that die from the flu every year. Okay. What does that mean? Well, you guys, they're saying that miraculously this year, the flu has been cured. And they're trying to say, oh, it's because we're all social distance and masks. Well, you and I both know a lot of people are not complying with that. We know that there have been states that really never shut down. We know there are entire countries that never shut down. And they're not seeing these kind of numbers. And why didn't they have quote unquote flu outbreaks? So the problem is something funny, funny business is going on with the people that are testing all this stuff. The tests are wrong. They're picking it up as CV19 when really it's just the flu. They're just calling it something different is what my opinion is about it. Can't say that as a matter of fact. But many of you work in the healthcare industry and you see the tests and you're like, where did the flu go? That's not scientific. I don't care if every single man, woman, and child was wearing a mask. That's not scientific that it would just magically disappear, and they know it. And here's the thing. We know that it exists on surfaces. Flu isn't just, it just doesn't happen from, airborne particles. It's supposedly on surfaces. So we're told. I'm questioning everything at this point. I don't believe anything these people say. So, according to their own science, the mask wouldn't really be the cause of you not spreading the flu, right? So, whatever. All right. Well, we're all still here, and it's 3:22, so I guess that's a good thing. Oh, the street says CV cured heart disease and tuberculosis too. Isn't that amazing? The flu flew away. Oh, man. Crazy. Okay, we'll be back tomorrow to talk about the border situation. Might have some other headlines for you guys as well. Thanks, everybody, for coming. If you haven't already, go to the backup channel, and that's where the trailer is. Make sure you watch that and thumbs it up. Keep that channel going over there. I'm not going to upload that trailer over here, but it's over there on the backup channel. The link is in the description. I love each and every one of you. Have a great day.